Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Before we even get into the weeds today, just take a quick second and hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession. You really don't want to miss an update when we drop these.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the kind of stuff we're getting into today.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission today, we are unpacking the psychological masterclasses that really fueled the South African Springboks' 2023 Rugby World Cup victory.
Which is just, it's an incredible topic.
Right, we're looking at this eye-opening article that recounts Springboks props, Stephen Kitchoff and Trevor Nyakane, and their reflections on two very iconic speeches that were featured in the Chasing the Sun 2 documentary.
Yeah, and it's just such a highly positive, reverent look at the game. We spend so much time on tactics, but this is about the motivational methods that actually forge a championship mindset.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Wait, scratch that. I can't use dots. Okay, let's unpack this because our first major highlight takes us straight into the calculated masterclass from the coaching staff.
Right. Specifically Jacques Nienaber and Rassie Erasmus.
Yes, exactly. So to set the context, this is right before the final against the All Blacks, which, the Springboks ultimately won by just a single clutch point.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
The margins are just razor thin.
Completely. And Nienaber doesn't just do the standard, rah-rah speech. He gives this powerful narrative where he tells the players that the world basically says they aren't supposed to be there.
Right. He makes it intensely personal.
Yeah, he literally calls out players' disadvantaged backgrounds. He's mentioning specific places like Bushbuckridge and Parle, and he's praising their willingness to just get stuck into the mud and work hard.
Which is brilliant. Trevor Nyakane actually observed that Nienaber and Erasmus, they don't just hit one generic motivational button.
No, not at all.
They know exactly how to press each player's individual button. They keep their rev count up permanently. It's entirely bespoke.
It's like Nienaber is this master psychological locksmith, right? Picking individual locks to open the exact same door for the whole team. But I do want to push back on this for a second.
Sure, go for it.
Does highlighting a player's poor or disadvantaged background literally right before a massive World Cup final run the risk of making them feel small rather than invincible? I mean, you're bringing up their struggles right when they need to feel like giants.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating here is the psychological alchemy at play. It's actually the complete opposite.
Oh, really? How so?
Because it completely neutralizes imposter syndrome. By openly embracing that shared struggle, it creates this screw this, I'm going to write my own story mentality.
I see.
Yeah, it creates an impenetrable unified armor. So it's not about feeling small at all. It's actually about weaponizing their personal history to achieve a common goal.
Weaponizing their history. That is such a powerful way to frame it. You're not just playing rugby, you're validating your entire existence.
Exactly. It bonds them on a level that basic tactics just can't touch.
Well, that meticulously calculated motivation from the coaches is incredible. But before we pivot to how the players hold each other accountable in the heat of the moment, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession to support these rapid-fire deep dives.
Yes, definitely subscribe, because the contrast we're about to look at is just wild.
It really is. We're moving from this perfectly scripted emotional masterclass to pure unscripted shock value. Because honestly, how do you top a coach's emotional masterclass?
You don't. You really don't.
Right, you do the exact opposite. Which brings us to the semifinal against England.
Oh man, this match.
Yeah, the context here is terrifying. It's halftime, the rain is pouring down, the Springboks are trailing 12-6, the pressure is just suffocating.
The dream of defending the title is literally slipping away.
And into this tense locker room steps Pieter-Steph du Toit, or PSDT. Now, he's a double World Rugby Player of the Year, but his reputation is like the quiet guy. He's the guy who lets his actions speak.
Right. He's the standard bearer, but he's not the vocal hype man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he stands up in the middle of this circle of massive, stressed out guys and just drops a bomb. He looks at them and says, "Is Jill flicking bang?"
Which translates to, "Are you fucking scared?"
Yeah. And then he gives this brutal ultimatum. If you are scared, say so. He won't be mad. They'll just put on the next guy.
Wow. Just right to their core.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly Oscar-worthy words, but it hit like lightning. Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like being at a loud party and the quietest guy in the room suddenly kicks over a table.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Right. The sheer shock value commands absolute silence. And the reactions were insane. Kitchoff said he got actual
And
goosebumps.
Nienaber wasn't even playing that game right.
Exactly. Nienaber was sitting in the back in his street clothes, and he admitted he was physically scared of PSDT in that moment. He felt the urge to go put his boots on.
That is hilarious, but it just shows the impact. Even the coaches decided to stay quiet and let the moment ride.
Yeah, they didn't try to add to it. They just let it hang in the air.
Because if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's the perfect example of a break character leadership moment.
Great character.
Yeah, when the standard bearer, a guy who usually never speaks, suddenly questions your manhood and offers to literally replace you,
Yeah.
it forces an immediate reset.
It jolts the entire system.
Exactly. It perfectly complements Nienaber's approach. One builds the psychological foundation, and the other just violently jolts the system back to life when the plan is failing.
It's like a defibrillator for the team's heart. So we've got these two contrasting but incredibly positive methods of Springbok motivation. The deeply personal coaching narrative and the raw, shocking peer ultimatum.
Both absolutely vital in their own ways.
And this is where we want to hear from you. Which method would motivate you more? Would you respond better to the deeply personal coaching narrative, or do you need that raw, shocking peer ultimatum to snap you into focus? Leave your comments, thoughts, and opinions. We love reading them.
For sure.
And one last time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession so we can keep bringing you these deep dives.
And to leave you with a final thought to mull over, look around your own life or your workplace. Who is the Pieter-Steph du Toit in your circle? The quietest person in the room. And what kind of unstoppable reaction would it cause if they finally decided to stand up and challenge everyone?
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.